Factories Corporation of Jamaica. Our business is providing industrial and commercial space at affordable rates. We provide real estate solutions for a variety of industries such as light manufacturing, agro-processing, warehousing, and business process outsourcing. Factories Corporation of Jamaica has over 100 facilities island-wide, strategically situated to meet your needs, whether in close proximity to the island's ports or commercial districts.
Factories Corporation assisted us when we needed to expand.
That's one of the beauties of Factories Corporation, is that you have availability when space comes up.
More than half of our existence, we've been dealing with Factories Corporation. It's been a very beneficial relationship.
Factories Corporation of Jamaica, an agency of the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. Located in the Belvedere community on the outskirts of Morant Bay in St. Thomas is the Goodyear factory, built in 1967 for the production of radial tire passenger line. In 1995, production discontinued. 2 years later, in 1997, the company transitioned exclusively into marketing and sales. Also in 1997, 30 years after the factory was constructed, the Goodyear plant closed its doors. Despite efforts being made to utilize the property, 20 years later, this is its current state. 24 acres of prime real estate just waiting to be developed. And it's prime space that businesses in the town of Morant Bay are in desperate need of. Take, for example, the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation. Its administrative office with 50 employees now occupies 2,840 square feet of space at the Hope and Company complex, and another 1,020 square feet of space at Maris Plaza for another 10 employees. The National Water Commission offices occupy 4,200 square feet of space, with the Jamaica Public Service Company occupying approximately 3,000 square feet of space. They are both located in the Hope and Company complex. A major challenge for their customers, especially the elderly, is accessing the second floor offices. The Ram Store Plaza houses the tax office as well as a farm store. The tax office is housed in approximately 3,500 square feet of space, but its customers also face a challenge, being forced to wait under a tent because there's simply insufficient space for them inside. Their waiting area is the car park, which doubles as a loading area for taxis. In the town of Morant Bay is the Post Office, a National Commercial Bank, a Scotia Bank, and a Jamaica National Bank. There is also a branch of the First Heritage Credit Union. Also in the heart of the town is the Morant Bay Market. Customers using that facility park their vehicles on the side of the road, which makes it even more challenging for vehicles trying to maneuver the narrow streets. Congestion is therefore an issue which cannot be avoided. No longer in use since the fire of 2007, the old Morant Bay Courthouse remains one of the historical features of the town. Not far away at Church Corner is the building now being used to house the courthouse, an area which often experiences flooding. In addition to the Roads and Works section of the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation, Maris Plaza is home to at least 3 other government offices: the Electoral Office of Jamaica, the Passport, Citizenship and Immigration Agency PICA, and the Justice Ministry. A bird's eye view of Morant Bay, St. Thomas, shows a town with rich history but very little space for its people. For residents and business operators in the town, space is integral to the town's growth and development.
Everything is congested, it's compact, it's tight, it's an archaic town. And everybody just have the mindset that everything has to be done in the heart of Morant Bay, but where is it going to go? So where is the room for expansion? For us to expand, we must step outside the town. We must expand outside because the town is sweltering, it's about to burst.
The streets are narrow. The town is an old town, so there's not much space for that sort of expansion unless you're going to expand in upwards. And then you have to take into consideration the structure of these buildings, these old buildings, if they can accommodate an upward movement. If not, we'll have to expand to the east or to the west of Morant Bay in order to facilitate new businesses.
And Morant Bay is really a nice place, really nice, where a lot of things can be done, but you have to find the people with far away mind, not thinking in the box, but out of the box, a visionary.
And so we must expand. Where we can have a center where there's, the JPS, the Water Commission, all the government agencies, courthouses, and another police station. Because Morant Bay is so congested that there's nowhere to park. So if you need to go to some of these places, you cannot park. The taxis is another problem. It's just chaos.
This is what the Morant Bay Urban Centre intends to offer: the development of an innovative concept representing a rebirth for a parish many have labelled as forgotten. The Morant Bay Urban Centre will contribute to economic growth and job creation in St. Thomas, a parish with a below-average literacy rate and unemployment rate of approximately 30%. An integrated industrial and commercial complex, what is even understood as a one-stop shop, which will see the amalgamation of the services provided by the Government of Jamaica in addition to services offered by the private sector. Allow us to take you on a journey through the Morant Bay Urban Centre. We will start with the vision Prime Minister Andrew Holness has for social order and business development. The Morant Bay Urban Centre will be a transformational change for social order. It is secured from the main road by 3 security features: a fence, a berm, and a pond. In addition to that, the urban centre will have a 2-floor security tower manned by security personnel, CCTV with audio and visual capabilities, an access-controlled system monitored remotely by Factories Corporation's maintenance office, the security tower, and the police post. A new perspective of urban centres where security is led by the state. The Morant Bay Urban Centre will have 2 entrances. One exclusively for service vehicles accessing the industrial and night manufacturing area, as well as the bus park, while this is the main entrance leading you along Paul Bogle Boulevard to one of the focal points of the development, the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation building. Influenced by the rich colonial designs evident in townships throughout Jamaica, it represents a rebirth, a newness. The new building will depict the cutting-edge facilities for municipal services. Adjacent to the municipal building is the town hall, supporting the services of the municipality. In addition to the town hall, there will be conferencing facilities complemented by a courtyard. From the municipal building to the commercial retail complex, the redevelopment of the existing structure, which will host a range of commercial businesses, a museum to be known as the Paul Bogle Hall, highlighting the rich cultural history of St. Thomas, financial institutions, a food court as well as facilities for formal dining, a sports bar and a gaming lounge. Most importantly, BPO facilities consistent with the Prime Minister's vision of economic growth and job creation. There are 2 BPO facilities, totaling approximately 80,000 square feet, which will employ some 3,000 persons working on a 2-shift system. There is also the capacity for the expansion of the BPO space by an additional 80,000 square feet to employ a further 3,000 individuals. This will be located in the green space reserved for development. Also supporting the complex, in particular the BPO with its large employment base, is a medical center, a wellness center, a library, and a daycare facility. From the commercial complex, the facility allows easy flow to the area known as Justice Square, facilitating a host of government services. Prominent among them is a courthouse, which will house the family court and the parish court. The courthouse leads you to a full-service tax office, the Registrar General Department, supported by a chapel, and the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency PICA, which supports the emerging concept of linking government services for greater efficiency and client satisfaction. Additionally, Justice Square will be supported by a police post with personnel to serve the courts as well as provide security services to the urban center. From Justice Square, we flow easily to the Heart Trust NTA, which will support continuous training for youth development and job placement for the important BPO sector and other businesses. The industrial zone will allow easy access to agro-processing, light manufacturing and warehousing with varying square footage of space to support small, medium and large enterprises. Adjacent to the industrial zone is the well-conceptualized space for higher education, such as a maritime university to support the expected demand for maritime services and other technical skill set services, as would be expected from a University of Technology or a University of the West Indies. Not to be left out is the SME zone to support young entrepreneurs while hosting a range of space to facilitate small and medium-sized businesses and to include rentable office space and a feed store supporting the agricultural nature of the parish. Finally, the complex is intentionally anchored by a major financial institution along with two major fast food establishments, each with their own drive-through to meet the varying demands of its users. Supporting the overall facility is a heritage park which speaks to the rich culture and heritage of Morant Bay and, by extension, St. Thomas. The park will incorporate a recreational area, a jogging heritage trail, and an amphitheater for cultural and educational events. The philosophy is that this park will be an attraction for residents and visitors, including tourists, to have an appreciation of the parish's rich history while supporting a revenue stream for Factories Corporation. As part of the design for the urban center, the aim is to reduce significantly the cost to do business through the deployment of green technologies. The urban center has access to multiple wells, which will be upgraded to provide potable water for the use by businesses and their clients and for landscaping. An integrated water harvesting system, which includes the use of the ponds, will be employed to supplement the water source for firefighting and landscaping and ultimately reduce the strain on the drainage system and minimize flooding. The cost of energy is also significant to the development and growth of businesses. The aim, therefore, is to reduce the high cost of energy by installing wind turbines and PV systems to supplement the energy requirements of the urban center. It is anticipated that this will result in a possible saving of 60%. The facility will have over 505 parking spaces and will include those reserved for the municipal corporation, the courts, as well as metered parking. With the birth of this urban center, it is expected that steps will be taken by the National Housing Trust and private developers to capitalize on the expansion of the town of Morant Bay. In tandem with this development and the development of the proposed highway, the Urban Development Corporation and the National Works Agency will now need to design sewage, drainage, roads, and traffic control. The town's expansion now creates the opportunity for the old Morant Bay to be designated and rehabilitated as a heritage town. The inclusiveness feature of the development will inform the Displace Replace strategy for the town. The Displace strategy is centered on the Morant Bay Urban Center, the catalyst that will create a new sustainable ecosystem for St. Thomas. This new system will feature a design that respects the cultural history of the parish, contemporary design, and facilities befitting of modern enterprise and a novel business model. The Replace strategy seeks to ensure that the current town is not destined to become ruined. Therefore, funding, for example, from the World Bank, legislation, that is, the Urban Renewal Act, and other incentives, such as tax incentives, taken together, will provide an enabling environment for reinvestment in the town, thereby creating a new market town destination. The urban center and the town of Morant Bay will be supported by new traffic in terms of land, sea, and air. This includes the expansion of the Norman Manley International Airport, a cruise shipping port to be established at Port Royal, the possible development of Cow Bay as a port, the expansion of the Ken Jones Aerodrome, and the new highway development from Harborview to Port Antonio. Construction of this development is projected to cost approximately $4 billion for a total of 365,000 square feet of space. Of the 365,000 square feet, the existing Goodyear footprint covers 130,000 square feet. 230,000 square feet of new building space will cover the municipal building, Justice Square, and the industrial and light manufacturing zone. The development model to be utilized is consistent with a strata subdivision concept to allow a mixture of rental and divestment, which will reduce FCJ's financial liability. The commercial model will follow a staged approach. FCJ will establish a Special Purpose Vehicle, SPV. The Goodyear property and the surrounding lands will represent the SPV's equity capital. The targeted partners will therefore be required to undertake a finance and build approach. This will take away much of the risk in terms of construction, currency, interest, and inflation from the government. Government agencies will be targeted for earliest occupancy, creating critical mass and generating even greater demand for the destination. The second phase, which will run concurrently with the first, will focus on the marketing efforts for sales and leases. Efforts will also be made to reduce the rental vacancy rate in the shortest possible time. FCJ will retain sole and exclusive management of the facilities, ensuring proper maintenance, compliance with environmental, sanitation, and design standards, and maintain a steady revenue flow. The third phase will be the monetization of retained rental stock, which will provide financial return, facilitate reinvestment, and the stimulation of other economic development and job creation initiatives in other areas. The Morant Bay Urban Center, fulfilling the mandate of Factories Corporation of Jamaica to achieve the Government of Jamaica's economic growth and job creation agenda by providing industrial and commercial space for a variety of industries. A game changer for the town of Morant Bay, the parish of St. Thomas, and a blueprint for future urban development. A vision Prime Minister Andrew Holness speaks passionately about and is now making a reality.